hope you enjoyed that. I had been wanting to do a remake of that video for a while, just of a cover of John Mayer's Gravity, because in the primary lesson video that I did over 10 years ago, some of the stuff was a bit outdated, and I also wasn't as good as I am now. And I don't think I understood some of the subtleties of the song, so I just wanted to do it again, partially as a tribute, partially as a thank you. 10 years that video has been on YouTube, and over 1 million people have seen it, which is just absolutely crazy. So I wanted to take a second and talk a little bit about the video and some of the gear that I used. So I've got my John Mayer Silver Sky. You can see it right here, I think in my second camera a little bit better. So I use this because one of the main complaints of the first videos that I was using that Telecaster right there, which if you watch my reaction video, you know that that's pretty much a totally different guitar at this point. Still a great guitar, but we're playing Gravity. We need to use a Strat. So I use the John Mayer Strat, and it is absolutely fantastic. Best Stratocaster I've ever played, hands down. Just feels incredible. I ordered this one online, didn't have to have it set up at all. It's just a fantastic guitar. Just feels really good. So I used that, and you can see in the video, I primarily used like the neck position for the solo on the pickups, and the neck and middle for the main riff. And then for an amplifier, I borrowed a Kemper for this video, and I used a profile called Vibe Rolex. It's made by Tone Junkie, and it is modeled after a Fender Vibrolux, which I have one, but it's kind of in storage, and it was just easier to plug the Kemper up and not have to worry about miking an amp. And it sounds great. I used two variations of that profile. First one is just the bass profile with a little bit of reverb on it, as well as some EQ was tweaked. The second version of it is the exact same as the first, except I added a vibe effect. So like in a Kemper, you can do kind of like guitar pedals, you can do effects on there. And I added a vibe as I noticed that one of the guitars in the verses, and I believe chorus of Gravity, has kind of like a rotating speaker or like a vibe effect on it, and so I did that. And so if you'll notice if you listen with headphones, that one of the guitars during the verses and choruses is just like a normal sounding guitar, and the other one is has the vibe sound, and they're panned hard left and hard right, so one in one ear and one in the other. So I used 4 guitar pedals on this song. I used a compressor, which is just a standard pedal that I have always on. You can see the settings of it where I run it. It's a Walrus Audio Deep 6 compressor. From there, I have it going into a JHS Clover for the main guitar sound, partially because it gives a little bit of a coloration to the tone that I like, because it's a preamp pedal. And then also because you can adjust the EQ, so I use that to dial in the tone just slightly more than I had on the Kemper itself. And I had that one on the entire song, so it's kind of like the main sound along with the amp profile. And then running next into a Brown amplification protein drive, and I use the blue side of that. I kick that on in the solo of the song, so the JHS Clover and the protein blue side are what you hear for that guitar solo tone. And then the last pedal in the signal chain that I was using is a Strymon Big Sky for reverb, which is total overkill for a song like this because there's not a lot of reverb on the guitar, but having a little bit extra does sweeten it up. And so I had a really minimal reverb on there just to make it sound a little bit better. The guitar solo at the end of the video was totally improvised. That is a part where John Mayer plays an outro, and he always plays, when he plays it live, he always plays an outro solo there. That is not what John would play on there. That's just kind of my version of an outro solo, just as something fun to tag at the end. So if you enjoyed that, go ahead and hit the like button for me. It helps me out a great deal, and I would really appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, anything else you'd like to know about this, or any suggestions of what else you'd like to see, please leave a comment below. And if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. So that was Gravity by John Mayer, done 10 years later from my original version, and I think it turned out quite a bit better. So I hope you thought so as well, and I will see you in the next one.